Welcome to the searching and sorting algorithm. This is the searching and sorting algorithm. We need to find the value of x after each call to the method. At the top we have the traditional public void name of this method thingy, which just so happens to be weird. And it takes in a parameter, which is an int array, called elements. First we have this for loop over here. We start at j, which happens to be 0. And we'll go all the way up to elements.length minus 1, or the whole length of the array minus 1. This for loop also increments by 1. J just so happens to represent the first index, and will count each index in the array as we go on further. Now in this for loop, a new variable is instantiated. This is an int variable called minIndex, and its role is to store the index that holds the minimum value, duh. We set this value to j each time, so it begins at 0 and eventually will end at length minus 1 when we go through this whole first for loop. Now we're ready for another loop. This begins at k, which just so happens to be j plus 1. This means that k will always start at one value above what j is. So it begins at 1 for this first case, and eventually will end at elements.length, the last value of the elements array. This also increases by 1 each time as well. Now inside this for loop is an if statement. It is a simple comparison that compares elements of k, so the actual value in the array, to elements of minIndex, which is where the smallest value index is in the array. To begin, this would be the first index. Now, if we see that the value at k is larger than the value at minIndex, we have to do some reassigning, which is what this thing is all about. Obviously, you want to reassign the k index to be the new smallest index. That's the whole goal of searching. If you repeat this loop, eventually you'll be able to find the smallest value in the whole array, and it will become minIndex. Finally, we're able to exit the loop, and we get to reassignment, which is something we've learned since the early days. We first set the value of j to another int variable called temp. This is for temporary storage, so you don't actually lose the value that you have. Since elements j is now empty, you can put elements of minIndex into it. This effectively puts minIndex at the beginning or near the beginning of each successive loop. Finally, you don't want to just lose the value of temp. So once again, you stored it earlier and you can now swap it and put it into where elements minIndex is, which has just been emptied into elements j. This way, temp is now some value in elements minIndex, and you can search for it later and rearrange it later. Repeat this a couple steps and you get something sorted in increasing order from left to right. This is the search and sort task. Confused yet? Let's do an example.